Hello, friends. Elise Anmchara for Anmchara Astrology. Let me know in the chat if you can hear me. Hello, Chris Mack. Welcome. I am just, I'm here. That's what StreamYard wants me to do. If it literally looks like I just got out of the shower and I'm still wearing a bathrobe, it's because I am. And it's not only because I had to wash the can't even off of me before I started this stream. It was also because because I just came back from the gym. Again, more of that can't even. I'm being very informal. It's also representative of some of the ringing out of, I don't know, the not self, previous expectations, all that kind of stuff that was happening for me personally, but also for a lot of us on a collective level leading up to this full moon in Gemini that took place yesterday on November 27th at 4 degrees of Gemini. I'm going to let you know right now that if you are specifically a sun or rising, I don't know how many of you in the chat are familiar with your natal chart, but if you are a super early Sagittarius, Gemini, Virgo, or Pisces, then you will have felt this full moon in Gemini very strongly, especially with this like Saturn energy, blah, blah, blah. So again, I'm Elise Edwards, aka Elise Anmchara of Anmchara Astrology. If you are enjoying this, please make sure that you like this, that you subscribe, that you share with your friends. I do plan on doing some lives. I'm actually inspired by Evan Nathaniel Grimm, who is an astrologer with a substantial social media following. But I just watched his live where he from like yesterday, and he had people come on and tell them, and he was just kind of doing little mini readings and whatnot for people that knew their time and place of birth. So I'm definitely planning on doing that at some point because I have a lot of not just astrological information, just like overall information. And when I don't have like a place to put it, or like someone to say it to, sure, I'll write it down, but whether that ever makes it back out to anywhere. So I'm also doing this because I never even put up a full moon situation on my Scorpio, Virgo moon. That's great. I would actually need like your actual birth chart in front of me, but we can definitely talk about this. Chris Mack, happy birthday. Happy belated birthday, I'm going to say. I would be really interested in knowing what your how close, how early your Virgo moon is. No, Ray will not be on. I did have a couple of guests that I thought would be on, but neither of them are able to make it. And it doesn't matter because what I learned, okay, this is going to be very important. So I hope everyone had an excellent Thanksgiving. I don't even know what day of the week Thanksgiving was. Was that on the 22nd? Was it the 23rd? I don't know what the actual date of Thanksgiving was at this point. All I know is that so over this past month, which has been Scorpio season, we've had a lot of Scorpio energy, but we also had Venus in Libra, and then as we transitioned into Sagittarius, right, the sun went into Sagittarius on the 22nd, and we also had the planet Venus, which rules relationships. It rules beauty and ideals and fairness and cooperation. It also rules finances, rules a whole bunch of stuff. And it then made an opposition to a planet, or it's not a planet. It's called Chiron, and it's the wounded healer in astrology. So the fact that we are all like looking to get along and have these meaningful, cooperative, reciprocal, beautiful partnerships and all this kind of stuff. And then all of a sudden, that energy is directly across from this wounded healer around identity, self identity. Ability to like act on one's own impulses. I mean, Aries and Mars, this is like quintessential masculine energy. Which we all have, and we all need. And so there's a lot of, I don't want to say self sabotage getting in the way of our connections, but I think that there was a lot of there's a lot of, oh my gosh, for, oh wow, Virgo 4. Wow, Chris Mack, hello. Your this full moon was square your moon. And that also means that Saturn is also opposing your moon right now. Um so good luck with that. Also watch out for just some an opposing force between wanting to maybe indulge in pleasure or over like spending versus do, versus um, doing the necessary things, like the necessary processes to make some, this is gonna sound so weird, either like your empathy, your sense of like service and or a creative endeavor. Like you need to like structure it in a meaningful way. Otherwise, you're just gonna be lost in it, lost in the sauce. Um, it's about structuring your creative and like your heartfelt, like even like spiritual and also service like oriented responsibilities, but there can be a tendency to also just be like or I can just do what I want. No, there's a lot going on there. So anyway, basically leading up to this full moon, some of us had a real ringing out of maybe expectations around relating, what's valuable, how relatable we are, which relationships, which people in our lives really have our backs, as well as could even be some information around just, I don't know, man. Like that day was just like such a bummer. Like I feel like the day before Thanksgiving and Thanksgiving itself was like kind of like, it was a bummer and then it got better, but especially like the day before Thanksgiving, like I don't know, I really felt like us, maybe there was like, oh, am I doing too much to like see everyone and to like be cooperative? Am I not doing enough? Am I, the black sheep of my family? Am I the only person that wasn't invited to Thanksgiving? Am I not having a Thanksgiving? Does Thanksgiving even fucking matter to me anymore? All that kind of stuff. We just had like a real like ringing out of all of those kind of dynamics, and that was en route to the full moon, as well as the sun and Mars meeting up, and also yeah, this whole T square to Saturn. I'm personally having a Saturn, my own Saturn square, in addition to this like full moon squaring Saturn, all this kind of stuff. So I like don't even have the fucking bandwidth to like talk about this right now. So one day when this gets better, no, one day when I feel more like relating to people, or I do this like early in the morning when I'm like actually freshest, and not when I at the end of my day when I'm just like I want to destroy. I'm definitely going to get into the Sabian symbols for this one because I think it's really, really fascinating. But also, Chris Mack, as a double Scorpio Virgo, I would be very, very interested to know just how this whole Scorpio season was for you. To me, I feel because we're going, I mean, Mars is still in Scorpio, but I'm sorry, Mars is in Sagittarius, but but it had been in Scorpio up until last week, essentially, and all through, well, through the majority of December, Venus is now going to be going through Scorpio. So we've had a lot of like this, like wanting to relate, kind of like testing the waters, trying to like find equilibrium, balance with the relationships that we have or the relationships that we want to have, all that kind of stuff. But I feel like, man, this Sagittarius season is not going to feel like a regular Sagittarius season, especially because we're going to have this more obsessive, maybe even more like just like dead ass Venus energy in Scorpio. Like it's going to be just so much more, are you in, are you out? Like it's a lot more of like going way beneath the surface in terms of relating and what we find beautiful and relatable. It could be some love games, guys. It could be some serious love games. And there could also just be like fear of relating or letting people in or surrendering to someone, or just be like, I don't trust you, or I don't trust myself in this situation. So these are really fun things to have going on during during Sagittarius season. Fuck Sagittarius season. No, I love Sagittarius season. I think all of us love Sagittarius season. But yeah, there's something about this that just feels a little wonky. Also, Mercury. I know, guys, our favorite. Hello, beloved chatter. Hello, Cindy. Hello, George. Hello, friends. I would just want to make sure that everybody knows that Mercury is going to go retrograde here. I believe it's on the 12th of December, 13th, something like that. Um, but it's already entered its shadow. And I really feel it's actually very important, especially if you are one of these people that have your sun or your rising in, especially those 4 degrees, first 4 degrees. You can even like go up to like 5 degrees of the mutable signs. So that is Gemini, Sagittarius, Virgo, and Pisces. I really feel that during this Mercury retrograde, because of just what's happening, I just like really feel the sense, because we're going to be retracing our steps after Mercury goes direct again, and that's going to be right on New Year's, essentially. So from right now, even like actually it was like yesterday, maybe even 2 days ago, from 2 days ago all the way until New Year's Day, we are going to be in a place that we will be retreading. So you are going to have communications, ideas, maybe even like, I don't know, possibly even if you're like purchasing communication technology and or a car, those kind of things. These things are all going to need, or if you're signing contracts, all that kind of stuff, they're all going to need to be reviewed, or we're going to have them, we're going to be coming back to these things. And I also feel like ideas that you have right now, again, like communications, that kind of stuff, I think it's a really important time to keep like a daily diary, even if you're not journaling your thoughts and stuff like that. I think it's a very important time to literally even just catalog all of the Mercury related activities, content, like that. So everything, like I said, communication, um, and any kind of technology, because I just feel like it's so strangely active that we're going to want to have a better record of like what day what day we said what, so that we can, as like we go through the retrograde and as it comes back, and then we're going to go over this area, over this turf again, um that we really know what was going on which day, so we can just like get it all done, get it all straightened out, or even know where it is that the wheels fell off the wagon so that we can get on track better and not start off the year in Capricorn season where we're all recovering from the hangover that we got during Sagittarius season. um, you're not like just scrambling to find your feet back on the ground. I just think it's a really good and important time to, you know, have some fail safes in place. Make your job easier, instead of making it harder, because it's already kind of a rough time, people. Like, this full moon is really, I mean, it was in the sign of communication, right? Gemini just wants to gather facts and just, disseminate them and receive more. It is not It's very objective. It is not making judgments on this information. It's just getting the information and moving it around, and just getting as much information as you possibly can. Gemini, the third house, those this sign, this area of life, of our life experience, rules things like reporting, like a stringer reporter, but it also rules diaries and the daily information, the daily intake, the daily output, the daily communication. Also, your neighbors, your siblings, your daily commute, short distance travel, and the short distances of information traveling and stuff like that. Um, so, and obviously the technology that we use to get around from place to place. So that can be that's both you physically as well as like your information. It also rules like secondary school and stuff like that, primary education. It's When we think about it in terms of like cognitive development or development of a human being, Gemini in the third house is about how we learn and how we think and how we communicate and how we learn to think and communicate initially, because this is when we start formulating our thoughts or ideas on the world and we start communicating them. So so everyone, yeah, just mark your calendars. I'll actually get the actual date and time for you, so we're not just sitting here shooting in the dark. But let's see here. Yes, the actual Mercury going retrograde does happen on Wednesday, December 13th. Also, probably a good idea for you to if you are buying your Christmas presents, your Hanukkah presents, all that kind of stuff, buy them now, especially if you are going to have them shipped to you. Um, um, I love this Mercury retrograde for you, beloved chatter. I think that is just fantastic. Um, so I really do want to get to the Sabian symbols because they're some of my favorite things to talk about ever. Sorry if this isn't making any sense to anyone. I don't know if anyone is even at the least bit astrology curious in here. I do think it is an important. Oh, by the way, okay, wait. Dingbat. Yes, Sabian symbols. Okay, dingbat. Ray is moving into a new place on December 1st with an elderly couple. He said it was a weird energy and he needs your sorcery, his words, to rid the place of this energy. Confusing. He thinks that's what you do. I mean, first off, I don't feel like I can take this question right now because you friends of the show as well as friends of the Rock Bottom podcast do tend to want to or do tend to, I don't know, fabricate stories. But I mean, it's all pretty much a good. That is actually a very good idea. This is a very good from beloved chatter. Fantastic. Yes, please send Ray some sage so that he can sage his new space. That would be very beneficial to him. UPS was probably born Eric Henderson, probably born under Mercury retrograde. I don't know, possibly. What's that one that starts with an H and it has like the yellow logo and stuff like that? That would be the real one right there. So anyway, it's also okay. So I just also have got to say. So again, Mercury retrograde. We're in Mercury's shadow right now. Mercury will turn retrograde on Wednesday, December 13th, exactly at 2:09 a.m. Eastern time. And of course, that will take us through to the first of the year. At which point we will retrace our steps. But at that point, the sun will be firmly in Capricorn and a lot less forgiving. Fun times, noodle salad. I can't wait to share the Sabian symbols for this full moon with you guys. I know, I know. I feel like I'm not there yet. But in any case, again, so if you had a really marvelous Thanksgiving or you had like not a great Thanksgiving, um any of us that have, I think this was around like 28, 23 degrees of Aries and Libra. So if you have anything around 23 degrees of Aries and Libra, um yeah, the 22nd and the 23rd could have been a little sad or eye-opening, because that's currently where the nodal, the nodal axis is. And again, we had that moon opposing the wounded healer there. So there may have been some real breakthroughs, or like I said, ringing out, clearing out, um, upsetting, I don't know, just some insecurities around our own identity and our ability to relate because of it, whether that be to ourselves, to a partner, to our families. Perhaps we found ourselves without any of those things on the 22nd, 23rd. So, but hopefully everyone just had a really good time. And of course, on Friday, yeah, Sagittarius, Mars entered Sagittarius. We're all feeling quite gluttonous on Friday, all with the leftovers, the moon being in Taurus, all that kind of stuff. Oh yeah, and then Mars squaring Saturn on Saturday. Yeah, the Mars square Saturn on Saturday. Again, I mean that's like kind of where it started, and then I feel like then it culminated with the full moon. So just wow. I mean, we want to like move forward with things, especially with Mars um in a fire sign. Um there could be, we could have gotten like a real like jolt of energy on Friday when Mars entered Sagittarius. We could have been being like, oh, I need to get the hell out of here. I need to go expand my horizons. But overall, I feel like there was kind of a weight lifted off of our shoulders with Mars moving out of Scorpio, which is like brooding and serious and intense and controlling. And so there was probably some levity brought to us via Sagittarius, but then it's kind of like the next day on Saturday, we kind of get a reality check. We don't kind of get a reality check. We get a serious reality check, which is that the limitation of what our responsibilities are, the limitations in terms of maybe what we have accomplished or not accomplished in terms of organizing our responsibilities so that we can have a beautiful existence, also really finding limitations in terms of, or like just being disillusioned with the reality of right now and the reality of the right now, like collectively, in the world. And could have really had some demotivating experiences, really clamping down on our enthusiasm. Oh, good. I'm so happy. Okay, Sabian symbols, Sabian symbols. Okay. Oh my gosh. Lissy. Oh my god, is that you? Is that Lucina? Oh my gosh. DHL. Yeah. So DHL, I would not be surprised if DHL was born under under a full moon fail. No, under Mercury retrograde, like Eric said. Okay, so anyway, I'm gonna get to the Sabian symbols because it's kind of like really what I wanted to talk about. There's like I said, there's like so many more organized astrologers out there that can like actually give you the shit that have like a very specific channel that you can just tune in and watch astrology and nothing else. And I really appreciate them and I really envy their focus and everything. There is a real major, there's like a knowingness that we need to get focused. And also, it's like, but what do I focus on? And if I focus on this, like, when's the other shoe gonna fall? And, um, this full moon had our minds racing, possibly our mouths racing, or if we didn't have anyone to communicate, maybe we were writing a lot, maybe we, just experience it as this kind of intellectual restlessness. Um, but I'm also feeling like, with we may have also had some foot and mouth like situations or between Mars squaring Saturn and then this full moon in the sign of Gemini, making a T square to Saturn. All I know is that the hostility is actually building more. Like, I don't know. I don't so try not to like burn any bridges. But also I kind of feel like it's fine if you do. Um I don't know. Like I said, there's just sure Mars is in Sagittarius now. Um but it just feels different. It just feels like there is a real want to act or just like feel differently and knowing that the best way to feel different about a situation, just the best way to move to the next place is like you actually have to move. The best way to move through an emotion is well, some people would say feel it and process it, but either way, whatever, getting in motion, energy motion. Saw someone say that on Instagram recently, and I was like, yeah, they're energy motions. Like I'd heard that before, but them saying it while doing some somatic movement, I was like, no, yeah, I get it. Energy motion, you got to move it through, you got to shake it up, you got to move it around, all that kind of stuff. Citizen Macabre, Poppy. Hello, friends. Again, please make sure that you like this video. That is only if you like it. If you don't, fine. That's also fine. Um, if you do want to book a personal reading, which I do much more focused readings when I'm just talking to an individual, which is also what I thought I was going to be doing on this live. But then I was like, you know what? Part of what I'm working through is that I don't need to wait for the right people to cooperate with. I should just do it myself with whatever I have. Like, there's so many people doing so much more with so much less. That is on me to just fucking do it and just be like, it is what it is, if it's just me screaming into the void of the internet with you fine people also here to watch live, then so be it. Let's just, and also understand that your particular astrologer right now is going through a Saturn square for the third time since Saturn moved into Pisces, and it's all while we're having a collective square between this full moon and Saturn. So basically the ego energies, like the energetic energies, the way forward, the consciousness illumination, as well as where our minds are at, because that's where our feeling like what the needs that we need to have met, and then that's what takes up like our bandwidth. They're at odds, so that's what a full moon is. This one, there's kind of like this crescendo between these inner and outer needs. um you know uh pulling at each other. And then the fact that we have Saturn, the planet of limitations, the planet of responsibility. It's literally the planet that represents what you have to do to account for physical existence. The fact that we are limited by gravity. We have physical time and space to account for. We have a finite amount of time on this earth. That is what we just experienced. And meanwhile, we're like wanting to get it going and in a more enthusiastic way than we've had for these past 5 weeks or so. And then we have fucking grandfather time being like, whoa, 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 slow down, slow your roll. You don't have the time for that. You don't have the money for that. You didn't plan for that. So what are you going to do? What size cups? What cup size are you? What cup size are you, Drunken Donuts? Drunken Donuts, you owe me $10 in Venmo right there. Right there. It's right there on the screen. Don't be shy, Drunken Donuts. And also, you can send me some toasted coconut donuts from Dunkin' Donuts while you're at it, because that's the only donut that I will eat from Dunkin' Donuts, because the rest of them are basura, okay? And there's a reason they call it Dunkin' Donuts. It's because they are totally inedible unless you, in fact, dunk them into something like the toilet. Okay, anyway, so feel free, Drunken Donuts, and anyone else also, Elise_Edwards on Venmo. You can also hit me up on PayPal, which is you can just go to my website and donate there. I would love to answer personal questions for you, but I really do need your like whatever information, especially because like I just cannot right now. So I'm gonna jump to the Sabian symbols because they are really cool. And what I think is really interesting is when I first looked at this, this is if you have not been watching the news, or I don't actually recommend like watching the news. It's pretty bad. But if you're going to watch the news, make sure that you watch all like a lot of media sources, and certainly not just legacy media. But I think it's really crazy because the first time that I pulled up the Sabian symbols for this full moon, there had just been an expose release or something like that on talking about these massive oil and natural gas reserves in Gaza. And so this is why this is going to be extra exciting for us here for this full moon. So I like to do this thing where of course I can't find the page. I just have like everything fall out except for this thing that I also don't need. Cool. Okay. Gemini 4, the Sabian symbol for Gemini 4. So I like to read the Sabian symbols. Can you guys get like see down, right? My thing, can you? Again, this is my entree. This is my one step into this is me chumming the water for my astrology, my naked astrology OnlyFans. You should blow up the moon. Okay, Drunken Donuts. If I look at my Venmo and you have not put money in it, I'm going to cancel you from the chat just because I can and it feels great. Okay. So, first of all, oh my gosh, I love it, beloved chatter. You're just the best. I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Okay, so this is funny. So the first Sabian symbol, so the first symbol that I read is the karmic condition around this full moon. So this is what brought us to this place. Okay, like this is like the backstory. And it is okay. I'm gonna do the backstory, which I call the karmic condition, and then the next one is the focus. Okay, or the lesson that we are coming to learn, that we're learning. It's the focus of this full moon. And then the third symbol represents the quest, okay, on which to get there, So the Sabian symbol that represents the backstory is holly and mistletoe bring Christmas spirit to a home. I'm going to explain what that is later, but I want to read all three of these. Okay, so the backstory, holly and mistletoe bring Christmas spirit to a home. The focus or the lesson of this full moon, the focus of this full moon, again, is a radical magazine or publication asking for action displays a sensational front page. Okay. Um, so that's the focus, right? A radical magazine or publication asking for action displays a sensational front page. Okay. And the quest, okay, the real quest behind all of this is symbolized by Gemini 6, which is workmen drilling for oil. I fucking love how dead ass the Sabian symbols are. Like, so do you guys remember what I said was going on in the news the day that that I first looked into the Sabian symbols? So yeah, so that all happened. But by the way, so I almost feel like doing this like backwards now. So the real quest for in between the karmic condition and the thing is pursuit of material or spiritual wealth and ambition, and putting great effort into something with a risk of no return, all that kind of stuff. But anyway, yeah. So simple. Okay, so the backstory, the what did I call it? The karmic condition. The karmic condition of it, the holly and the mistletoe bring Christmas spirit. For one thing, the mistletoe and the holly has like incredible, like old ancient powers, and uh it's actually speak for all of you who are already really amped for for my super fans. I will hopefully have those too, but for my only fans, um this oh, the druids, the men, they used to carry hollyberry for virility. Okay. This was like, and having a holly tree buried outside or growing outside of your yard or outside your door was like kind of like the druid or like the Celtic version of having the evil eye hung above your door, right? Or having selenite above your door. It literally kept evil out. Um, so there is a lot about this. What brought us to this place is essentially tradition and honoring tradition. Um, and also, to me, it is about bringing the spirit into your home with nature and like and these symbols and their natural properties that it's almost like it brings spirit in, right? Also, holly, it wards evil away. Um, but there is a whole thing about like bringing, social celebrations, um, simple gestures that remind us of larger realities, warmth, joy, a festive season. This anticipation of a festive season based on this tradition of having a festive season, a tradition of having, warm memories and being with family. And it's both important. Um, it can also be really lonely. We could also have some Scrooge mentalities happening. We could also go walk back into and I feel like Instagram, or at least my Instagram, has been um completely overrun with don't walk back into your talk, don't be fooled by the hallmark season or whatever. Like, don't walk back into your toxic family situation and think it's going to be better, different this time. So um, oh, also interestingly enough, the actual author of this Sabian Symbols book, Linda Hill, she actually also says, excluding others because of religious beliefs, but also neglecting family and rituals that have no depth or true meaning. So I think that's what made me really think about yes, the holly was a symbol of Saturnalia, um, which Saturnalia is so interesting, because I also think of Bacchanal, and I also think of Boxing Day, which is, I think, traditionally when the Saturnalia was, the day after Christmas, which is fun, and it's also weird how those traditions and whatever get whatever. So anyway, there is this like idea and this hope and this tradition of like coming together and embracing each other in spirit and like bringing like good cheer and coming together. But then there's also this risk or this karmic condition of loneliness and or like maybe walking back into a family tradition or doing traditions that are empty. They're just done, because they're checking a box or, we want to look like we're a normal family, want to look like we get along, even though I'm sitting here, can't wait to, roast your ass over the fire, that kind of shit. So it's a weird something. Anyway, um, but also the fact that there's all this like magic in the traditions, and I feel like there's a huge something about the lost actualness of the tradition, including stuff like what's the meaning of hollyberry, what's a point of having poinsettias, which are a member of the nightshade family, as part of these traditions. Why are you um, burning candles? Why do you have a mistletoe hanging in your house? And why just one kiss under it? It's because it's the female version of oh my god, Artie's Bookie. Oh, that's great. Does it? Oh my gosh, I love this. Okay. Anyway, so long story short is the karma condition is we're coming in, we're entering this festive season where we embrace each other and family and honor these rituals. But for a lot of us, we don't even know where the fuck these rituals come from. So while we definitely need to be embracing each other and honoring this, holiday spirit, this Christmas spirit, and this spirit of honor of, congregating together to celebrate it, how many of these rituals are empty or done by rote because we're super disconnected from where does they come from, why does we're even celebrating these things now, and with what purpose, and do we use these traditions and whatnot to exclude people, or are we taking the time to embrace our like humanity and share the Christmas cheer and extend our home and family and have peace and reconciliation amongst ourselves, within ourselves, and with people outside. um I am so excited to be embraced this holiday season. Thank you so much, beloved chatter. Okay, so now the focus of this full moon. Again, this full moon is ruled by Bucking Gemini. So a lot of chatty Cathys inside the house. And inside ourselves, and everyone wants to talk about stuff, and there's actually no like fact checking going on and all this kind of stuff. So then what's the focus of this full moon that happened? That was like the fullest on Monday, right? Yesterday. And it says a radical magazine or publication asking for action displays a sensational front page. um it says, oh my gosh. Sometimes, in order to be taken seriously or noticed, people need to do or say something rousing, radical, or out of the ordinary, especially when there is a need or desire to change things. There are probably some strong feelings that action needs to be taken. Bear in mind, however, that the status quo can be very hard to awaken, change, or shift. As this is a radical magazine, it can lead to moves that are disruptive or even threatening to stability or security in some measure. Further, the action that is being called for can lead to less than desirable outcomes. Events that unfold at this time can be highly charged or emotional. Hmm. Um, yeah, so it says right now you may be motivated for change. Okay, again, this is a collective reading of what this full moon was symbolizing. Where it fell in your um in your chart will tell you that much more about where, you know, this is really like the most active. Um, but yeah, so getting the attention of those around you may require radical or even abrasive action. I have started to be so much more abrasive. You're welcome. I'm doing it in my everyday life. I don't know if it's winning me any friends or any points, but you know what? The less people, I'm a recovering people pleaser, okay? And I'm a closet goth, and now I'm starting to feel that reversing, you know? Um, Yes, Ray Mr. Ray P. Ray. I love that because I'm also seen as it as like Dougie Doug, you know? Anyway, and like Ray is such a throwback and Dougie Doug is such a throwback. Anyway, okay. We're all having fun here. Okay, so this symbol can be seen equally from the opposite view. Perhaps you are having difficulty with someone who is being noisy, disruptive, demanding, or looking to cause change. Whichever the issue is most likely overblown and exaggerated in some way. There is a ton of exaggeration right now because, like I said, Mars just came into fucking Sagittarius. The sun is in Sagittarius. You know, we out here in Sagittarius land. Um, and okay, so there may be a lot of dramatic action and overreaction in what is said or done. Things may seem threatening or probably just reflections of the moment and the time. Someone may meet you, try to match you vocally. Attention seeking devices. Attention seeking devices. Can I please say? And I just, one of my guests that was going to come on here today, she was like kind of a last minute one. So I'm not like bummed that she couldn't make it. I mean, of course, it would be fun to have you here. But we had this moment about social media. It was like, okay, yeah, we both feel like we need to like take action or whatever, but we're both allergic to social media. And I was like, "Oh my god, you are," I was like, "You are too?" Because recently, you know, when I open my Instagram just to like get something that I saved or because someone sent me something. And then the next thing I see is like the same person, even if it's someone that I love and someone that I know very well. And I see like 100 posts of them, just like, you know, like just taking a picture of like every angle of their ass or their car or like whatever. I'm immediately like going to my phone to like block their number. I mean, there is such a weird reaction and like wanting to overshare in ways that are just like so insane. Um, but I kind of feel like that there's like just this general vexation is driving people to either like say a lot or try to do a lot or do something or just like, you know, kind of addressing this inner recklessness. Sorry, recklessness. I meant restlessness, but you know, sometimes it's recklessness because I basically had to be carried home the other day. No, I didn't actually have to be carried home, but I did get pretty drunk when I went out to dinner and with my friend and her boyfriend, her new boyfriend. I was kind of like trying to get a read on him. And instead I walked out needing to immediately get an entire sack of donuts, not Drunken Donuts. Oh my gosh, they kind of were Drunken Donuts. Okay, this is straight from Drunken Donuts, everyone. Please make sure that you there you go. Anyway, so the focus of this moon Is speaking one's mind, messages, news that awakens and shocks, the need to reform, challenging outlook, breaking out of constraints, the media, issues of propaganda, breaking out of constraints again, revolution, social and emotional causes, conspiracy theories, printing presses, publishing. Do you guys see how exacting? Do you guys understand how fucking exacting and how crazy exacting the savings of a woman who was like blind, like, couldn't see, couldn't move. Okay. She was a clairvoyant. Her name was Elsie Wheeler. She was the one who interpreted these like 360 degrees of the zodiac into what we now know as the Sabian symbols. And when you apply them to things like full moons, when you apply them to degrees of astrological events, which are also astronomical events, by the way. My roommate the other day asked me, when he was asking me what's the deal with solar winds, and I was like talking about them in terms of astrology. Like I was like talking about them both in terms of like astrology and in like the universe or the solar system, or what it means on a physical and a metaphysical level is what I'm saying. And he's like, yeah, but what does it like mean? Or like he was like, no, like, but what about whatever? I can't remember which one he wanted me to focus on, but I was like, no, that's the whole point. They're the same thing. We're just analyzing them from both like the physical and the metaphysical, the qualitative and the quantitative like aspect of things. Oh boy, that's exactly what happened. But no, for real, solar storms, we are anything that's like direct, any like if you think that life happens in a vacuum, congratulations. You're wrong. Maybe you live in a vacuum. Maybe you're a bubble boy. I don't know, or girl, or they, or them. Not my bag. I'm not here to like judge or whatever, but I also don't have to take the time to understand. I can just send you my love and turn away. Anyway, so yeah. Yes. Oh, also the speaking one's truth without fear of consequences. Yeah, publicity, gain attention, blah blah blah. So a lot of weird shit. I feel like a lot of weird shit, like I don't know. Oh, and the cautions of this full moon are literally being argumentative, rousing others for selfish reasons, distortions of the truth, misinformation and disinformation, getting the whole picture wrong, exploitation of situations, overstating messages, biased information, old and outworn news. Tremendous. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that so crazy? Oh my God. Okay, wow. Anyway, and lastly, the quest, the Sabian symbols, workmen drilling for oil. This is a symbol of people working, endeavoring to find some kind of treasure. Often this treasure is oil, and it is buried deep. There must be significant effort made to bring it to the surface. Searching deeply in the depths often carries a certain amount of risk, and the workmen need to have an incentive for this task. Drilling for oil also shows a desire to get to the depths or the bottom of an issue, or to find the rewards that exist deep within something. Are you guys listening here? I The Gregorian calendar. Fuck the Gregorian calendar. Let's see. I'm missing all of your things. Okay, good. It's not astrology that was created by a blind person. It's the Sabian symbols. You probably don't know who the Sabian people are, so it doesn't matter, and none of this matters. It's pretty wild. So thank you for tuning in, and I wish you guys had something better to do with your lives. Moving on. Okay, so the quest of this full moon, with the workmen drilling for oil. It's a symbol, okay? It's an image, an evocative image, okay, with meanings behind it, both keywords and then its shadow, or cautionary information. It says the situation facing you will probably need hard work, concentration, and commitment. The rewards you are seeking may be hidden way beneath the surface. The answers you want are often held within yourself or others, and it can just be a simple matter of having and keeping faith in the search. You may need, however, to explore your inner self for answers, and acting in cooperation with those who have the skills to assist you in such an exploration could bring to the surface things that you didn't even know were there. As true rewards are at times both difficult to find and unsuccessful, it is through employing continual perseverance and shying away from feelings of futility that you will find success. Exposing yourself to risk is often necessary in order to gain great wealth and rewards. Oil, even if you don't actually strike oil, there can still be much learned during this exploration. So, an interesting thing about this also has to do with the fact that, you kind of just have to put your efforts into like heartfelt pursuits that have a good chance of return, or like a deep, like treasure, something like that on the other side. Um, but at the same time, there is like, again, it's Gemini. There's this like constant restlessness that's happening. And it's like, yeah, work harder, but also let's go over there, or like, what about that treasure and all that kind of stuff. So, the other thing that's like fucked up about it is, like I said, it could you could expose yourself to a lot of risk and actually come up with absolutely nothing. And, there is also a tendency to want to like strike it rich. This is another cautionary aspect of this thing, is wanting to strike it rich. Also like snake oil salesmen, um, relying on others to come up with the goods, gold diggers, opportunists, exploiting resources, depression, digging into people's private matters. So yeah, again, there's also one of the good iterations, or whatever's of this thing, is psychoanalysis, like actually digging, like plumbing the depths of your mind and your psyche for the stuff. So, like I said, my overall something, especially now that we have moved into Mercury's shadow, Mercury's retrograde shadow. We just had this full moon in Gemini. Um, oh yeah, Mars. Venus is going to be going um, into Scorpio. I'm telling y'all, you need to be keeping a journal or a dream journal. If not to plumb the depths, then at least to literally have a daily record of the information and the ideas that you had, that you requested from others, information, so that you can have a track. You can actually track the ideas. You can actually track the conversation. You can actually track the whatever, because when Mercury goes retrograde, again, it can be kind of majorly dramatic because it's going to be in Sagittarius, and it's, you know, um, because, yeah, I'm reading your comments, and this is amazing. Um, this is really incredible. Um, oh, thank you. See, how sweet. Cindy James. Thank you. You'd only trust me to do a reading based on science, if that makes sense. Yes, because it's like all the same. It's the same thing. It's just, I actually wrote a paper on how we had, thank you so much, Cindy. That's really kind of you. Um, I wrote a paper on why why aren't we offering astrology as even an elective? because we studied astrology and astronomy as one of the same, or like two sides of the same coin, all the way up until Newton's laws of physics, essentially, which is pretty modern history when you think about it, like the grand scheme of things and whatnot. But I'm not here to fucking beat a dead horse. I can bring a horse to water, but I can't make him drink. But I can drown that motherfucker and then jump in a car and peel away. No one ever said that. Where's that proverb, bitch? So anyway, I'm just really embodying the potential vexation that is happening. That is also a reflection of both the growing sense of like hope, the growing need for change, as well as an inner restlessness. And we might become the mouthpiece for our restlessness. We might become really insane in terms of our restlessness and our want for action and stuff like that, even though we are getting reminders of the reality of we don't have a good foundation or a good structure for what we're trying to bring from our best selves right now, from from spirit, from our inner spirit, from our artistic, our spiritually inclined inclinations, inspirations, the whatever for a better world through our own effort and responsibilities. And when we realize that we don't have the next move forward, like there is none, or like we didn't plan it out, or, we stepped in dog shit, whatever, like that, some of us might have a really good, practice of, whether that's like a meditative practice or something like that, you're going to be able to pivot. And some of us are going to be out here just talking shit. We're going to be out here just ruining, canceling Christmas, weeks in advance. So if you were one of those dickheads that were like, it's Black Friday, like, when someone was like trying to be like, you know, my whole family has been kidnapped, and you can't understand when someone gets upset with you, I don't know what to tell you, man, or gal, or like I said, everything in between and a bag of chips. But also the saving symbols are so rad. And when you guys aren't talking the most sleazy grease in this here chat, I hope you get a chance to check out the backstory of the saving symbols because it's really, really fascinating. Um, oh my gosh, I'm also restless for a hoagie. Um, oh, great. Okay, good. Oh my gosh, I love that. Thank you. Yes. Beloved chatter, of course. I would love to give you a reading. Also, Chris Mack, you get extra points. Chris Mack gets MVP. No offense, anyone. Hi, Sierra. Um, Venus into Scorpio. Why hasn't this been on the news? Why? Because patriarchy. That's my one. What is patriarchy? That's my one word uh Jeopardy answer. Also really riveting. Do you like Olive Garden breadsticks? Who doesn't like Olive Garden breadsticks? You have to be an actual psychopath if you don't love Olive Garden breadsticks. I do kind of feel like they have a little bit of a time, constraint on them in terms of like edibility, at being edible. Like not, it doesn't have as short of a window of time as like say a McDonald's cheeseburger, but definitely it's definitely not like your regular breadstick situation. Um, no, I can't watch your kid on Saturday. I mean, watch your kid where? This is getting very creepy. Artie, I don't believe that you have children. Um, let's see here. Um, yay. Oh, this is great. Okay. Well, you guys have been really amazing. I've hated every minute of it. And God bless all of you. And Goddess too, and everything else. And yeah, I guess if anyone has any questions that aren't related to my cup size, or if the Earth is flat, I think we can all just call it a night. Anyone? Anyone? Oh my gosh. All right. Well, you guys have been amazing. I love you all most of the time. I'm Elise Edwards, aka Elise Anmchara. Please feel free to book a reading at astrology.com. Feel free to hit my Venmo. Please like and subscribe, and I probably will, um, you know, be back at some point. Okay. Bye.